Hello everyone, welcome to my 2020 recap video. I know 2020 has been the shittiest year for everyone in this world, but I think that it is an interesting time to be alive. So here's a little bit of what I've learned in 2020. Enjoy!
The word of the year that I want to have for this year is relentless. I want to be unafraid to fall. And even if I fall, I want to be unstoppable. I want to be able to stand up and fight again.
Obviously, I started the year really bold and strong and ambitious. I even colored my hair red. It's a really daring and bold color, and it's the best decision I've ever made. So I was at the peak of my healthy lifestyle where I would wake up at 5 in the morning to journal so that I can make it to the gym at 6 in the morning for a 2 hours training session. You know, I was at the strongest, the leanest that my body has ever been. Oh my, just look at that body. I miss that. So I managed to get on one international flight this year before the travel ban, and it was to Bangkok for our entrepreneur masterclass. I get to see our Thai friends, have some good Thai food, and to be there in person in front of our students, to experience the energy in the room, it's just priceless. As for myself, I also traveled all the way to Johor Bahru to speak at a youth conference. I'm glad to be able to speak to the younger generation, to open them up to entrepreneurship, to inspire them to follow their dreams and turn them into reality. On top of that, in March, I was also invited to speak at the Wealth Accelerator event where I was the only female speaker, which honestly, I'm proud to be the female representative in the industry. That said, I thought I was right on track to achieve my goal to be a better speaker until this happens.
Dan untuk itu kerajaan memutuskan untuk melaksanakan perintah kawalan pergerakan.
Yes, the restricted movement order was announced in Malaysia. Everyone was not allowed to leave home, and it was a very confusing time. I tried to keep myself busy. I kept the habit of journaling early in the morning to remind myself of my goals, my vision, so that I don't get buried by all the fear that I was experiencing. I also moved out to stay with Kevin because I know that as an extrovert, I would not make it if I were to stay home all by myself for weeks.
So today is Kevin and I's second anniversary. We cannot go anywhere for any romantic meal, so we're gonna attempt to cook at home. We're gonna make gnocchi, and Dylan is also here to be a bright lamppost. Yeah, look at your stomach!
Oh, look at us. Okay, that kiss was obviously staged, but yeah, I'm grateful to have Kevin by my side throughout the quarantine. I remember going out for groceries for the first time after the order. All the meat was sold out, and apparently people bought up lots and lots of toilet paper, and it was just weird and scary thinking of all the germs that could spread to you when you're out. Times have changed. All I could do at that time was to stay home for safety. I tried to continue to work out from home, and the very first time that I went outside just to skip rope downstairs, it didn't feel safe, so I stopped doing it after just once. But we progressed, okay? Very quickly after that, my friends from gym started a Zoom session for group training, which was very helpful considering we're able to get that community support again. And speaking of Zoom sessions, we celebrated birthdays through video calls, which is kind of sad, but I'm just grateful for the technology to be able to even make this possible in the first place.
I'm wishing.
Okay, happy birthday!
Yay! She cry.
And that said, thanks to technology, we were able to pivot our business online really quickly during the restrictive movement order days. So right here is actually the very first live session that we had during that season. We had a great turnout, So much so that we actually crashed the internet. Okay, we crashed the server by having too many people signing up for our course at once, which was amazing. It's a good problem to have, but to save the crash after that was actually crazy. I was working day and night just to make sure that we have everything covered for all the students who sign up for our program. I was waking up at 6 in the morning to clock in, and I only clock out at around 12 or 1 in the morning. And it was not just me, okay, but the entire team. Even after we've outsourced and get extra part-timers to help us. It's just cray. And because all this happened so quickly and I didn't have a proper setup to work from home at Kevin's place, I had a severe backache just from having poor sitting posture for too long. Eventually, we also moved our workshops online. I know you don't get the exact energy that you get as an in-person room, but we gotta do what we gotta do because it seems like this pandemic wasn't going anywhere. I'm just grateful that I have a really tech-savvy boss who enjoys doing all of this, and he's just geeking out, duplicating me on this green screen right now. Now, one of the goals that I had this year is actually to have my very own female empowerment event. While logistically wise, I wasn't able to make it happen the way I visualized, I'm grateful that I was able to launch it virtually. A summit that is made by women for all. While it looks amazing on the outside as if I had a great accomplishment, a lot was happening behind the scenes that you don't know. The ads were not running well, sales were not hitting my target, and I doubted myself a lot for my capability. So much so that some days I was just paralyzed. It was the most stressful I've ever been in my career. Yet it's also the biggest growth experience I had. I learned that it is so true what Tony Robbins said. Business is 80% psychology and 20% skills. It's so true. The moment I started to doubt myself, I went downhill. I'm so glad that thanks to my mentor's push, I got started with this journey, and I honestly cannot wait to keep building on what I started in 2021. That said, everything comes with a price tag. I put a lot of time and effort in my career this year to the point that I actually sacrificed a lot of time from my loved ones. I realized by the end of the year that I neglected my close relationships. I didn't put in effort into reaching out. I distanced myself, and that has actually affected my mental health a lot. This Christmas season really forced me to take a step back from everything and put my loved ones first. Somehow I felt so recharged and energized and just so human again. Of course, I felt guilty. That's why I promised myself that I'm going to make time for these beautiful people again. Even if I can't see them in person all the time, I'm gonna make time for them virtually. I'm gonna text them, give them a call, anything that works. Now, there are some things that didn't make it to this video earlier, but I really want to include them to wrap up this video.
Being very careful at the airport because of coronavirus. This one not scared die one.
Yo.
That one okay lah. This one okay lah. But that one. It's our first time dining out after the MCO is kind of lifted. I'm still kind of freaking out. He's too broke again.
I managed to sneak in 2 travels locally this year. One of it is to Redang with my beloved gym friends, which was so fun. I got to swim with turtles during this trip. And the one with my company, it's always about food. We had a food trip all the way in Penang, which was yummy, but I think the best part of this trip is the fact that I found out my potential to be an acrobat. One thing that the year 2020 has taught me is to never take for granted again all the little things that I have access to. My friends, my family, the ability to just travel across border to see a family member. I would never take that for granted again. I'm also grateful that I was able to turn the crisis into opportunity because I was surrounded by people who are positive enough to do this as well. And I know that a lot of people out there are struggling, and I went through my fair share of survivor's guilt. But I've decided to, accept the fact that there will be times when some people choose to make the best out of the worst, and some people just decide to victimize themselves. And so, moving forward to 2021, I'm really looking forward to turning all the biggest possible crises, biggest possible problems that I come across into opportunities and make the best out of it. Thank you so much for journeying with me this year, and I really look forward to another amazing year. Whether it's gonna be chaotic or not, I look forward to having you journeying with me again. Bye!